Good afternoon and welcome, everybody. This would be the Jeff Cameron Show right here on 97.9 ESPN Radio. Good to have you along. I'm Jeff. That's Tom. We're online, ESPNTallahassee.com. That's where you're going to listen live via the streaming free. Always. If you miss anything, go get caught up. All 3 hours get put onto iTunes upon the conclusion of the show, as well as in our own audio vault. You can email the show if you want. It's jcs@979espnradio.com. Hello, YouTubers. Hope you're well. Find us on YouTube, ESPN Tallahassee. If you want to Periscope the program, you can as well. Just go to @979ESPN Radio. All right, so do we feel any better on a Lawn Maintenance Tuesday than we did on Monday about the upcoming game, a rivalry game, an all-time great in the history of college football, Florida State-Miami series, which ordinarily has us on edge, geeked, excited. It wasn't all that long ago while we talked of Platinum Bohicas and the like, etc. No, not any better at all. Still feel terrible. Still think we're going to lose the game going away. Don't think that there's a path to victory, barring turnovers from N'Kosi Perry, which I suppose could happen. They could. First big game he's played in, first big moment he's been in, first time that he's a part of this rivalry. So maybe with the pressure of not having won there, dating all the way back to 2004, Miami will feel an inordinate amount of pressure to get right, to exact revenge for all the failures, the many failures of Canes before him. Maybe it'll happen. But unless it does, I don't see it.
I think different days at different times, you focus on different things for rivalry weeks. Offense versus defense, vice versa, for your team or their team. To me, it's just the number one concern is what are we going to do defensively? We allow for decent athletes, not great athletes, to beat us in man coverage. These are better athletes. In zone, we don't know where to line up and what depth to line up. That's a problem too. See the coverage busts against Louisville in the second half. And I don't know that we have enough personnel to pressure N'Kosi Perry if you're trying to play a soft shell of two-man or something along those lines. But I think that's probably your best bet is to dare this kid to throw and then hope up front you win enough battles in the run game and your linebackers are good enough or slot defenders are good enough to hold up.
Yeah.
Right. There aren't many options here how to play this thing.
Well, you can stop the run and then make them one-dimensional and hope like hell that pays off because you know what's coming. Obviously, our bread and butter has been stopping the run, and I love our interior, so I do think that's possible. I don't love us to get pressure without having to dial it up, and that's a problem. I don't love our linebackers. But I actually am more concentrated on the flip side of things. It's more of my concern regarding what we're going to do to move the football against Miami, a unit that has, for whatever reason, been able to thrive in creating turnovers time and again. And I think they'll have opportunities too here because I don't see us establishing any sort of a running game. And without doing so, one-dimensional is all you got, and that's how people tee off, and that's how turnovers happen, and that's how momentum gets shifted, and that's how your quarterback is, once again, a chalk outline. We're blocking better on the offensive line. We're not running the scheme real well. The quarterback is struggling with his reads. Something's not right with Cam Akers in this system. I don't know if it's just he's lacking patience or if he's nursing an injury, but we're not getting explosiveness out of him, even when the runs are there, which is pretty frustrating. So that, to me, seems to be there's a disconnect in terms of scheme and the players understanding it.
I think
that's
too.
Married in the backfield right now.
Yeah, confidence. I mean, the first couple of games, if every time you're touching the ball in the backfield, they blow you up, that takes it out of you a little bit, and then you don't trust your eyes or trust the system.
Yeah.
You don't trust them to do their job in front of you if it's a long developing run. Again, I point to 2nd and 13, start the second half. He's got a chance to follow his, I think it's Eberle and probably Brady Scott. I forget who the other puller was. But two pulling guys, left to right. He's got a chance to follow them, split between them, and make 10, 15 yards on that play, get a first down. Maybe more. It's a play he made down the stretch of the season in his freshman campaign, where you saw patience, vision, and then the ability to go from 0 to 60. And you thought, all right.
We got something there,
He said as much to you when you interviewed Cam Akers in Charlotte.
That's right. He did, and I asked him about it because he certainly was a far more patient runner at the end of last year than he is this year. Now, this is a different system, but patience is patience, and you're right. He didn't have it for much of the season a year ago, got better with it. It's one of the things that excited me about his potential because we knew physically he had all the tools. Everything was there. He could finish runs. He's fast. He could make you miss, in the hole. He could do a lot of things, but he wasn't patient. And then right now, though, new system and there's a lack of trust. And they're not, that's the other thing. We talk a lot about play calling and when you call things and sequencing and all that stuff is true. But at the end of the day, what I keep getting back to and what has me most discouraged about the game itself is if you cannot block it, you cannot win it. And that's where we're at. I just don't think that even on a good day, we're even average on the offensive line. So it was a step forward last week in not giving up any sacks. Obviously, Landon Dickerson adds a lot to this group. They are improving. Ira and I talked about that. You'll hear Seminole headlines later today from 5 to 7. You got Cameron Show here now from 3 to 5. I do think there's evidence that they're improving on the offensive line, at least in terms of understanding what they're doing, not just allowing guys to come free without putting a hand on them, that kind of stuff.
But you need Landon Dickerson to be a part of this game.
Oh, hugely, and he wasn't at practice today, at least in the early portion when they could see. So that might be because they're easing him back in. He wasn't 100% healthy even when he started this game, but Landon Dickerson at 80% right now is better than any other option we have. They may need to rest him during the course of the week just so he can play on Saturday.
Well, if that's the case, then fine. And putting him at left tackle does change the equation a little bit. It does. Maybe you can get Derek Kelly back, but he wasn't there, or at least during the open portion of practice to the media today either. So a couple of question marks, but you had some measure of success even, I do think, in the running game last week. I know, insert laugh track here. If you ran straight ahead, I don't think you can be fancy in this game. The ball's got to get out of 12's hands quickly if you're throwing the football. And then if you're running the football, you can't have long developing mesh point plays in the backfield. I understand that's our philosophy, but if Syracuse can tee off on you, if Northern Illinois or Stanford can tee off on you in those types of situations, what's Miami going to do?
Sure. That's why I picked Miami 38-10. And I think I'm being fairly generous. Yeah, I could see it getting ugly in a hurry.
Chew on that, people.
Yeah, I went 38-10. I hope by the end of the week maybe I start to see things differently. I doubt it. Did you? You didn't. All of it anyhow. You've seen highlights, I know, but my goodness gracious. What a good Monday Night Football game last night. I got a new favorite player. I'm going to watch that kid every week. He's a joy. He is. I love watching Patrick Mahomes, man.
He sounds like a crew chief, too.
I love
NASCAR
that
crew chief.
I love that kid. They do a thing on the on NFL.com where they do this after every Monday night game. It's just less interesting when other quarterbacks are in play. Watch Patrick Mahomes' best throws. That is it. There are throws you go, whoa, who makes that throw? There's real ability here, like crazy ability that you just don't see guys make, rolling to their right, rolling to their left, just lasers deep down the field where physically you think that's impossible. He's going to rip every core muscle. It's impossible. And he'll take a hit. And so I love a guy that's tough and talented. And I know the league will adjust. The league adjusts. That's what they do. And right now they're having a hard time adjusting to him. But he takes chances because of the cannon for an arm that he has, where when he throws it, you go, that's not a window. You can't, no, he caught it. He fit it in. That's amazing. There's a lot of that stuff going on with him right now that I'm just going to tell you, if you're a lukewarm fan of the NFL, I get it. You want to see an exciting talent, watch that kid play until the league adjusts on it. But the flash and the arm strength and all that, the moxie, that's all going to be there.
Sometimes you have exciting players who are exciting in spite of the offense.
Right.
That's being called, but that's not the case here. The offense is as exciting as the player is. The velocity of his throws is equal to the velocity of Tyreek Hill's legs and the speed he generates. That's what's interesting about this team. You don't need but, 2 or 3 tenths of a second for that connection to work. He can throw it down the field, as Jimbo liked to say, extreme distances.
Oh, man.
But accurately to Tyreek Hill, who you can't overthrow.
I'm a big fan of that. I like me some Tyreek Hill. He's got himself. No, he's a player. I mean, I'm just talking about the player. I don't care about the person.
He's a piece of crap.
Yeah, he's a horrible human being. I don't care about that. Based on the incident in college, I know what you're talking about. I'm just talking about
pregnant girlfriend. Yes.
Yeah, no, the player, Tom. We're just talking about
this
the player.
Is the NFL,
this
Tom.
Is the NFL,
what are you doing?
It's a league of mercenaries. You said yourself as a GM, you'd go after guys like Tyreek Hill.
Oh, I'd extend him. Yeah, let's see if his agent is ready for an extension
because he's freaking good.
With a personal conduct clause, of course, but yes.
Yeah, I mean, he's really good. But I don't often say that about a Monday Night Football game, but it was riveting. And now we're at that great time of year. The MLB playoffs are underway. Here we go. And tonight we'll have it for you. 7:30 is the wild card game, Colorado and Chicago. All right.
Tomorrow night, another wild card game, Jeff. We'll have that for you at 7:30.
More wild card games, right?
And then finally, the TV networks got together and announced what times these NLDS games 1 through 3 were going to be. That was ridiculous, the wait for that. Imagine being a fan. You have to buy these tickets and you don't know if you can make it or not because they're going to stick it at 2:30 in the afternoon or something along those lines. But the Atlanta Braves, we're going to have every one of the Atlanta Braves postseason games for as long as they go. They start Thursday night. First pitch of that game, 8:37 for Game 1 in L.A. Coverage will begin 7:20 p.m. Thursday night.
The reason also that I brought up last night's game, it wasn't just it was exciting to watch a quarterback like Patrick Mahomes. It's that Cam Irving played well. And he was looking like a bust in the league and everything else, and good for him, man. That was fun to watch. Good for you. I always liked Cam a lot. I always liked him. He was a fun interview and a nice guy.
He was insightful. Yeah,
he could give you some insight. And so I hated that it didn't work out for him in Cleveland. And I thought, oh, that's a shame.
May have just been Cleveland.
Yeah, well, he's 4 years in the league now. 4 years in the league.
Drawing a pension check. And that division is good to Florida State OL because Rodney Hudson's out there. Menelik Watson's out there as well. Both of them in Oakland, last I checked.
Yeah, it's funny, too, when you look at – is Menelik still playing?
I think he is now. I'm going to go double check because I feel like maybe
Hudson,
he was on
I know
Denver.
Hudson is, yeah, but I don't know if Menelik was or not. Anyhow, Monday night game was great. That was a lot of fun, and if you watched that game, you were rewarded. I did stay up late to watch that. And then we had Ryder Cup news. The fallout continues that apparently Florida State's own Brooks Koepka getting into it with his running mate, Dustin Johnson. Patrick Reed's wife is talking to the New York Times. Sounds like the locker room was a fun place to be for the we'll get into that later, but that's I keep waiting for more stories. I'm like, come on, Bob Herrick, break another one.
So what you're saying is the clown show wasn't the performance Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
No. It was, the stuff behind the scenes that was hinted at all along, apparently. All right, I'm here for it. I want more drama behind the scenes. I like it because it helps explain exactly why we got stomped yet again. Although we guessed it. We first guessed it. And it didn't have to do with the locker room.
Narrow fairways.
Yeah,
and you can't hit the broadside of a barn off the tee. Yeah, that helps.
No, that was the reason I predicted they would lose, but I didn't know there was an added element here to this drama, this male soap opera, where the locker room, they all hate each other.
Meanwhile, Tony Finau's just sitting over here saying, hey, man,
yeah, I'm all right.
I'm just going to, chip in a couple of times a day and make a bunch of birdie putts and have 5-footers that I miss, but I'm going to generate birdie looks. That's what I do.
I'm a birdie machine is what he is.
And I'm going to go home because y'all are crazy.
Crazy. He's going to be good for us moving forward, though. That I do like.
He's got a good temperament for it. Either you're all in or you're aloof, and he's kind of a little bit aloof.
But he smiles a lot, too. He seems to be happy. Like, I get it. Hey, look at this. I got the shortest backswing in golf history, and I hit it the furthest, and it's amazing. Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
For Braves country,
it is party time in Atlanta.
For our fans,
and this stadium is upside down.
For each other.
He has done it again. There is a mob scene out at second.
Thursday night, it's Game 1 of the National League Division Series as the Braves hit the field in Los Angeles for a huge battle with the Dodgers, live from Dodger Stadium in L.A.
On your home for the Braves, 97.9 ESPN Radio, Tallahassee's sports monster.
Car get caught in some gridiron action? Take it to Bob's Auto Repair and Collision Center. Now open at the new location on Lake Bradford Road. The new Bob's Auto Repair and Collision Center is still providing the best car care and collision service in town with the same great people, but now at a new state-of-the-art facility off Lake Bradford Road. Come check it out for a free collision estimate and find out why Bob's Auto Repair and Collision has been rated #1 with FSU students in Tallahassee for over 35 years. Bob's Auto Repair and Collision Center, 2293 Lake Bradford Road. Don't let your car get stuck on the bench this season.
License number MV01209. With football season in full swing, don't forget about fishing our local waterways after the games. Fish are still biting regardless of the score. Sea Quarters Marina, Carabel, Florida. Open 7 days a week from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. The marina has a ship store, which includes fuel, bait, tackle, ice, and all of your fishing supplies for the trip. Both diesel and non-ethanol fuel is available. Free Wi-Fi and pump out with boat slip rental. Sea Quarters Marina, 501 St. James Avenue, Carabel, Florida, 697-8400. Visit them online at seaquartersmarina.com.
The hardest working man in comedy is back. Kevin Hart. It's the Irresponsible Tour.
I caught my dad giving my kids raw candy out of his pocket. Candy with no wrapper. It was loose. It was just in his pocket. He said,
The box office smash comedian, Kevin Hart.
Where the lines at on that peppermint?
Kevin Hart.
5 minutes go by, I saw my dad take that peppermint out of his mouth, put it back in his pocket. Those were half-sucked on peppermints.
Friday, October 12th in Tucker Civic Center. Get tickets at the box office and online at tuckerciviccenter.com. Don't miss Kevin Hart.
Seminole fans know barbecue, and Tallahassee's best southern barbecue is Willie Jewell's. Willie Jewell's Old School Barbecue on Thomasville Road. Smoked on site 24 hours a day. Cooked low and slow the old school way. And every meal is served with a side of southern hospitality. And take advantage of the barbecue tailgate special. Pork brisket, chicken ribs, turkey, and wings with all the fixings to make your tailgate the place to pregame. Let Willie Jewell's take the stress out of your next tailgate or event. Willie Jewell's, 5442 Thomasville Road. Go Knowles!
You have to be up in 5 hours. 2 hours. 6 minutes, and you haven't slept a wink. ZzzQuil Pure Z's is a drug-free blend of botanicals with an optimal dose of melatonin, so you can fall asleep naturally and wake with no next-day grogginess. So tonight, try new ZzzQuil Pure Z's from the sleep experts at Vicks ZzzQuil.
This football season, cater your tailgate with Guthrie's. Guthrie's is a family-owned and operated restaurant that has been proudly in business for over 50 years. Since 1978, everybody has been falling hard for those golden fried chicken fingers, crispy fries, buttery Texas toast, creamy coleslaw, sweet tea, and of course, the signature sauce. Guthrie's is perfect for a school night dinner, tailgate party, or both. 2 Tallahassee locations, North Monroe Street or 1818 West Tennessee. Guthrie's Chicken, creator of the original chicken finger box and sauce.
I'm Michael Blank, attorney with the law office of Jose Fernandez. If you've been in an accident, I know this can be a scary and confusing time. Our firm specializes in handling all types of accident and injury cases. Let us guide you through the process and get you the compensation you deserve. Call 855-HOSE-305 to make an appointment for your free consultation today. If you can't come to us, we can come to you, day or night. Call us now, 855-HOSE-305, the law office of Jose Fernandez. We don't get paid unless you do. Offices, Tallahassee, Miami. Se habla español. JRFinjury.com.
Football season is here, and the last thing you want to do is get involved in a painting project. So call the guys at Berrigan Painting to take care of all your needs. They are family-owned and have been in business for over 30 years. Commercial, residential, and industrial jobs are their specialties, and they are city and county vendors. Hours of operation are Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. until 3:30 p.m. For a free quote, email them at berriganpainting@comcast.net or give them a call at 878-3988. Visit online at berriganpainting.com. Berrigan Painting. They have you covered.
You're locked in with the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
I thought of you. Somebody posted a picture of Sony Michel, Todd Gurley, and Nick Chubb for Georgia in 2014, and somebody immediately responded, yeah, they lost to Treylon Harris. I mean, that's why quarterback wins aren't a thing.
Right, yeah.
That's exactly
Well, Treylon Harris is 2-0 against Georgia, sir.
That is, like, if you're a Georgia fan, you're happy where you are now, and it all worked out eventually. Obviously, somebody had to leave for that to happen, but to look back at a team with Nick Chubb, Todd Gurley, and Sony Michel, that trio lost to that dude. Now, Treylon Harris didn't make a single tackle, but
right, and they all, I think one of the games, if it's the right one, they also had the guy who worked at Publix as a walk-on. He was the grocery bagger guy.
Who, a quarterback?
No, he was the holder or the kicker, and they had a fake that they ran.
Oh, is that right?
And he scored. Yeah,
I don't remember that. That was a thing.
That was
the guy that worked at Publix.
It happened.
Yeah, that was a tough time. Well, see, that's the kind of magic we have to summon this Saturday from Mark Richt. The kind of, I can lose to anybody.
Which, you can still work, obviously, when you're a walk-on. You can hold a job, and you can if you're a scholarship athlete.
That's right.
It's kind of like the Bass Ackwards thing. You remember week 1 or week 2, College Game Day, they did a story about a kid, I think it was UNLV that he was playing for. I forget. It was somewhere out west.
Yes, that's right.
And at the end, Gene Wojciechowski did a wrap-up before they sent it back to
And
the
the guy
desk.
was living in a car, working 3 jobs,
Right.
and done everything else. Yeah.
And he said he's continuing to work after they gave him a Scali. I'm like, Gene, no, man, you're going to get him ruled ineligible by the NCAA.
Yeah, and that was supposed to be a testament to just the work ethic. And you want to go, no, that's...
Dude, you're going to undercut this whole thing and end the story.
Yeah, no.
Take his Scali.
I cracked up about that as well. By the way, underrated slate lost in the... it's not underrated. It's probably largely well thought of by everybody outside of the state of Florida who's only concentrating on Florida State and Miami. But you have our game, obviously. But I think we got good games this weekend. Fun games. Texas-Oklahoma. It's a good game.
That's a nooner.
Boston College, NC State, Tom, is a big tilt, buddy.
That's an important one.
It is. LSU in Florida is a big game.
That's also at 3:30. Some hate watching going on in our commercial breaks.
Kentucky and Texas A&M, 7 o'clock, prime time. Let's get it on.
Mark Stoops' revenge. That's what that is.
Oh, without question. I mean, if it's possible. Now, A&M is unranked. They're favored to win the game.
Hello, Jimbo. Would you like me to run over to your sideline in the middle of you calling plays and tell you what's wrong with you?
I mean, you got to know deep down. I mean, he is really happy about this matchup. He can't wait to get it on there.
Oh, that is...
It's a big game.
Head coaching
That
incentive.
is a big game. But who do you think is going to win it?
I don't know.
That game is at Texas A&M. 5-0, number 13th ranked Kentucky. So funny how these rankings go. I get it. Your record, it matters, all that stuff. But here's Texas A&M, 3-2, haven't beaten anybody who's any good. And there's Kentucky, 5-0. Do have some nice wins under their belt. And Texas A&M's favored. Of course they are.
Well, of course they are. That feels right, doesn't it? I mean,
Sure it does.
It's still Kentucky at some point.
How bad does Wisconsin beat Nebraska?
That number was 21.5, and I was interested in it if the hook would come down.
I'll give the hook. That Nebraska team is going to get blown out by Wisconsin. And Wisconsin's not very good.
That's the thing. It's about possession count. How many possessions here are we talking? Does Wisconsin get 10? We're in business.
Notre Dame is going to stop Virginia Tech, right?
I would think so. They don't have a quarterback. Virginia Tech. I don't care that it's in Blacksburg.
Virginia Tech bounced back and beat Duke.
It's still Duke. It's like Kentucky. At some point, you still are what you are.
Yeah, no, I'm saying that was a nice bounce back win for Virginia Tech. Got to give them a little bit of love right there. That was, we didn't think they'd beat Duke.
That's a gut check win.
That is. I mean, after what they had, after what just occurred, that was rather stunning. I got to give them a little bit of credit.
They had 2 choices there, right? They could go full Florida in 2013, or they could fight back.
They fought back. They fought back big time, but I give them credit. I didn't think that was going to happen, and it did happen, so they deserve our tip of the cap. And then we get back to us. And again, what would you consider a win? Because they're not going to win the game. So what would you consider a win for Florida State? I say if they keep it within 17, it's a win.
I can't go there. It's Miami. It's a rivalry game.
Oh, I won't be happy about it. I'm thinking from the purposes of recruiting. I'm thinking about whether or not, singular games oftentimes get labeled with a degree of importance that simply does not equate to the perception of the fan bases. They believe it to be dramatic, singular games in rivalry matchups. But historically speaking, that's not true, at least when it comes to recruiting.
Yeah, but if you're Rick, you can say we're 2 in a row and we pasted them on our turf.
Right. No, I'm not saying it has zero impact, especially if it's grouped with another game or 2 or 3 or 4. In our case, there were 7 in a row, Tom. Just you could group so many,
And yet the offensive lineman said no.
Or we didn't bother.
It's a hell of a thing.
Mm-hmm. And that's why the quandary is what it is. And I don't know that a singular game is going to have the biggest impact on recruiting. But right now, currently, Florida State sits ranked ahead, based on projection, of Miami and Florida in recruiting. None of the teams are in the top 10 currently. It's curious. It's curious indeed. I just know this. Whatever happens this year, I've come to a place of acceptance that it's not going to be what I would have wished for. But what I always fall back on is that, okay, so long as you're, somewhere in the top 7 in recruiting afterwards, I'll live with it. Let's move on, replace what we got to replace. But nobody in this state is in the top 10 currently.
No, we got some work to do to get there. And the pitch gets harder and harder with every loss. So I understand your point about what's a win. Is it if Miami has to kick a last-second field goal, we put the fear of God into them or something?
That's right. You got a lot you could say there.
It's very hard for the fan me to even have that discussion because it's Miami. And we have been much better than Miami in a lot of these, or a lot of those 7 in a row. And somehow, some way, Miami had a lead in the third or fourth quarter. And you're just kicking yourself saying, how is this possible? What are we doing wrong here?
It was frustrating.
Look at that roster. They're a bunch of, depth players. There's a couple of good ones, a couple of draft picks, in fact, but they're depth players. And yet here we are. So I'm hoping the shoe is on the other foot this weekend. Rivalry games can do that.
Rivalry games can do that, and it's the one holdout that I have is that, listen, again, N'Kosi Perry has not faced anybody of note yet. There is an awful lot of pressure. Of course, the chatter will grow louder and louder and louder, obviously, after this, as this week proceeds, as it should. And they've got an opportunity, does Miami, to exorcise the demons, if you will. They haven't won down in Miami since 2004. That's well documented, especially by people like me. You can bet they're damn tired of hearing about it. They want that celebration in their backyard to erupt and to finally happen. And it's likely to happen, but the longer the game goes on and remains close, the more the pressure mounts on the group that hasn't been able to do it, that has had opportunities, that hasn't been able to close the door when they had a lead time and again and couldn't get the victory, especially on a kid who really hasn't played much college football.
Exactly, and he was somebody who couldn't beat Malik Rozier out in fall camp. That's the thing I keep falling back on here, is maybe he's a gamer and it doesn't matter, and we blow coverages and he makes a couple of throws, and so the bravado is there and then he plays well and we get smoked. Maybe, that could happen. But maybe he also proves to be the kid that could not beat out Malik Rozier in fall camp.
I wonder about that. I think coaches make this mistake, right? They have a kid and they win a few games with him, and they mistake that those wins are part of a positive movement, something in the right direction, because obviously when Rick got there, they were able to start showing immediately that they were a better program, that they weren't going to blow games quite in the same fashion, and there was an uptick in recruiting. And anyhow, there's a little bit of a love fest that goes on when that happens, and a coach tends to want to fall back on that player, right, who is part of that positive movement. But they fail to see that he's hindering the overall growth, actually, of the program by virtue of their poor play. And so I wonder, did Malik Rozier really win that battle?
Well, what I find interesting then, if he didn't and Mark Richt got it wrong, then Weldon is also a good quarterback, because a couple of weeks ago the talk was that it's really a battle for the number 2 spot behind Rozier. It wasn't that somebody was breathing down Malik's neck. It was that Weldon and Perry are battling neck and neck for the 2.
That sounds strange to me. I just don't know how any of them could be worse than Malik. And I feel like, too, with that situation, a lot of the Miami people will tell you, well, that was because they're just not accurate enough. Whoa. You're telling me that 2 guys are more inaccurate than Malik Rozier? They're not accurate enough to beat out a 50% completion percent? What are we doing here?
The thing that worries me about what we could see in the flow of the first half with the North Carolina win last week for Miami, that game was closer in the first half than the halftime score would indicate.
Well, yes.
Miami was opening up the tempo. Mark has largely been a pro-style guy, and even if they get to the line, they're not huddling. They get to the line and they look for the signal. They're not huddling. They will rush up to the line of scrimmage. And I just wonder, we're still having issues with that. I have to believe that we have big-time issues with that because we didn't camp against this offense.
I want Miami and Mark Richt to do things that they aren't traditionally comfortable with and to do things that they haven't done so much in the past. And I don't understand why we wouldn't be able to see that and deal with that, because we did see it throughout camp.
But the offense was winning. That's kind of curious.
Yeah. I don't know how. I think that was situational, right? I think that had to have been.
It had to have been scripted.
Yeah, it had to be. Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
When you're in look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
And storefront glass. Widden Glass will take care of you to your complete satisfaction. That's been Widden's way of doing business for over 70 years. When you call Widden Glass, you're dealing with experienced, reliable professionals who offer only the best, like Widden's top-of-the-line bath enclosures that provide style and luxury at an affordable price. Eye-catching storefronts are a specialty at Widden Glass. We'll help you design it and install it. We've done hundreds of storefronts in the Tallahassee area. That's why Widden is known for taking care of business. Widden Glass, the first name in glass replacement. Call 222-5781.
Don't just listen to The Jeff Cameron Show. Watch it live. The Jeff Cameron Show Streamcast. Live weekdays 3 to 6 p.m. Head to ESPNTallahassee.com today to watch live or catch up on demand. The Jeff Cameron Show Streamcast. Brought to you by Nice Tire and Auto, your trusted Goodyear dealer.
Nice Tire and Auto, just minutes away from FSU campus.
Hey sports fans, who's on your Mount Rushmore of baseball? I'm going with Ruth, Cobb, Aaron, and Mantle. Football, I've got Bradshaw, Peyton, Montana, and Brady. In basketball, Jabbar, Jordan, Bird, and LeBron. This debate could go on and on, but when it comes to the Mount Rushmore of personal injury law in Tallahassee, the choice is clear. Fonville, Lewis, Messer, McConaughey. Recently voted Tallahassee's best law firm, so avoid the underdog and go with the favorite. Fonville, Lewis, Messer, McConaughey.
You have to be up in 5 hours. 2 hours. 6 minutes, and you haven't slept a wink. ZzzQuil Pure Z's is a drug-free blend of botanicals with an optimal dose of melatonin, so you can fall asleep naturally and wake with no next-day grogginess. So tonight, try new ZzzQuil Pure Z's from the sleep experts at Vicks ZzzQuil.
It's been called shell shock, war neurosis, and battle fatigue. Today, we call it post-traumatic stress disorder, and it affects 1 out of every 5 warriors returning from battle in Iraq and Afghanistan. The Wounded Warrior Project offers comfort and support for warriors with PTSD and all other scars of war, whether those scars are visible or hidden. Find out how to help, because for warriors, the greatest casualty is being forgotten. Please visit woundedwarriorproject.org.
Looking for a new place to watch your favorite sporting event? Hobbit American Grill with 3 locations to choose from. Just show them your stub. That's right, your ticket stub from any local sporting event for $1 pints and $3 crafts. BOGO Mondays every Monday with 50% off specials. Like or follow on Facebook to get all the details. PS4 tourneys, trivia, karaoke, darts, and more. Lots of daily lunch specials under $8. Happy hour specials daily and happy hour all day on Friday. The Hobbit American Grill.
Whether you're a professional athlete, casual player, or simply enjoy watching the game on those hard bleachers, any physical activity takes its toll on the body. Athletes require superior amounts of flexibility, speed, coordination, and strength to perform, and they know that treating aches and pains with their chiropractor early is critical to getting back into the game. At HealthSource, our goal is to keep you healthy and playing at the top of your game, whether it's professional sports or simply making it through the work week pain-free. Our team is dedicated to your health, but your aches and pains will never go away if you don't come in and see us. Give us a call today, 877-8980. HealthSource. Don't settle for just treatment. Let us care for you.
Broadcasting live from the AmeriGas Propane Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee. This is the Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Cornerstone Tool and Fastener on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Walter, have a good day. Thanks for winning Manager of the Year last season. I mean, damn, man.
Usually there's more than meets the eye in a situation like this.
I would say. I mean, even though the Twins stunk, they were 78 and 84. It wasn't like they, went into the side of a mountain. That's what they should have been the year before when everything went right and they had an unexpected season that led to him winning Manager of the Year. Curious indeed. About it, Minnesota said they'd like to thank his, Paul for his tremendous dedication to the Twins organization. Peace. It's good for you.
Everyone hates him, so this was easy.
Doesn't that sound like it a little bit?
We were looking for a reason, folks. 78 wins was good enough for us.
Productive conversations about keeping Malter with the organization in another undisclosed capacity and expect that he will accept the team's offer. So maybe that's
golden parachute. Paul, we'd like you to be the director of fan relations. We'd like you to maybe shake some hands every game on the deck after the game is over.
I'll say it though, and I'll tell you what. Every time it's a little bit like getting fired. Second year of a 5-year contract that's guaranteed. It's a kiss my ass on Main Street moment. It is a glorious deal. That's pants around the ankles, run down the street. My life has never been better. I just got fired and I am owed $37 million. Woohoo! I get to get that money as I would have had I been working. Only, I'm not working. I'll go to the beach. I'm not saying that's what Molitor has. I'm saying anytime I read a deal like that, I go, that's the deal right there. That's the best kind of contract there is.
He wasn't due $37 million.
No. No, I'm
what
saying
is baseball doing?
No, I'm saying Paul doesn't have a deal like that.
Okay,
but anytime you read about deals where they give you a golden parachute where you get paid a lot of money to do nothing because they're trying to save face for PR reasons, and or it's a deal like college football where your agent just worked out some magnificent deal for, absurd reasons that teams feel like they have no leverage whatsoever and continue to acquiesce.
John Gruden's going to have a $50 or $60 million moment here in the next few years. Absolutely.
Yeah. In many ways, Raider fans are doing what we were thinking about at the time that he was kind of in the conversation about coming to Tampa Bay. We went, maybe in theory that sounds good, but he's a little antiquated.
I am really excited to check in on this Mark Stoops Jimbo Fisher game.
Kentucky, Texas A&M, baby.
Oh, man.
Yeah. I mean, there are a lot of guys that would like the opportunity to face Jimbo Fisher that have worked with him.
I've waited 6 long years.
Actually, all credit to Mark, because think back to when he got hired and how that thing started, and really, frankly, how it started through the first 3 years. There weren't any signature moments. They didn't have opportunities. If anything, there were only question marks about in-game silliness late against Florida and others.
Yeah,
they had that happen more than once.
He'd given them, and apparently the pitch went so very well. It went over so well in Lexington that he had a plan. It was a 5-year plan because you're Kentucky, and I'm working to get you to a certain place here. We're going to beat Florida. We're going to end that streak, all that stuff. And he had moments to cash in right then and there. How many times? 3, 4 times?
Oh, yeah. At least two for sure. Yeah.
I could think of one early in his career. It was a Saturday night game at UF, and there was a weird turnover, or there was a weird
they had a couple,
ruling or something along those lines. He got mad at the official. But then there was obviously 2 years ago, they should have won that game. The year before, they should have won the game. And now he finally cashes in. But he had that plan, and he said, this is what we're going to do, incremental growth. And they stuck with him, and who knows? It could, just completely flame out this season, and they could still lose 5 games. But the moment that they have right now is a top 15. Did you say that right? Top 15 team in the country?
Yeah, Kentucky is currently.
That's crazy.
They're undefeated.
Well, I get that, but the fact you could still, weight these things and say, I don't know, Kentucky's undefeated. That's wonderful. They're still not the number 13 team in the country.
Well, this is what happens with rankings early in seasons where you don't know what anybody is yet necessarily, and so certain wins that in the moment seemed like they were of great value turn out to not be. Now, it may very well be that Kentucky's win, let's say, over Florida is actually better than we thought because Florida's playing better than we thought, and if Florida, another team who has an interesting game this weekend, is to beat LSU, all of a sudden the Kentucky win over them in Gainesville, in which they deserved to win and dominated the game, will be somewhat impressive.
A couple of surprises in the SEC. We talked about this preseason. So many new coaches and new directions. I get that Mark Stoops is not one of them. But we thought that Mississippi State would be a lot better than they are, right? And
they can't throw the ball. They can't throw. They're playing well in every other aspect of the game. They can't throw.
We also thought in the East that South Carolina would kind of lay claim to number 2, the role of number 2 in the East behind Georgia, and they're terrible. Kentucky just put him down pretty badly.
Yeah, a couple touchdowns, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Seemed fitting for a couple touchdowns to be referenced in some way with Kentucky. I think that's
they'll beat us by a couple touchdowns. Probably.
Yeah. No, I think it's we are, and it's funny. This is where we sit with the Florida State Miami game too. We're at that point in the season. We're rapidly approaching. Unfortunately, sort of a midway place here, and you usually have a very good idea what somebody is after about this weekend. About this is kind of the weekend. And so, if Florida loses decidedly, we'll look at LSU and go, okay.
Oh, both teams.
Yeah,
you can kind of judge.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And if Kentucky goes on the road and beats Texas A&M, who's not great but not terrible, you're going to say, okay, Kentucky's 6-0, and they have some decent wins here.
It's a lot of B- victories.
Yeah. And for Kentucky, that's exceedingly, beyond what you were expecting. Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Tallahassee has always loved the Corner Pocket Bar and Grill on Appalachia Parkway for its delicious food, cold drinks, and Vegas wall of 8 50-inch flat-screen TVs. Now, the Corner Pocket gives you a new reason to start off every week at the CP, Monday Night Mania. Enjoy 50-cent wings and $5 domestic pitchers of beer every Monday night from 7:30 till 11 p.m. That's right, 50-cent wings and $5 domestic pitchers as you enjoy Monday night on the gridiron. The Corner Pocket Bar and Grill and Monday Mania. Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
With football season in full swing, don't forget about fishing our local waterways after the games. Fish are still biting regardless of the score. Sea Quarters Marina, Carabel, Florida. Open 7 days a week from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. The marina has a ship store, which includes fuel, bait, tackle, ice, and all of your fishing supplies for the trip. Both diesel and non-ethanol fuel is available. Free Wi-Fi and pump out with boat slip rental. Sea Quarters Marina, 501 St. James Avenue, Carabel, Florida, 697-8400. Visit them online at seaquartersmarina.com.
Working on the car, huh?
Yeah, it's been stalling.
It could be friction from your floor mats.
No.
Oil change too? Better change your oil fuses.
Nice try. Hand me that Purolator Boss filter.
Wow. Protects up to 15,000 miles?
Right. Nothing gets by Purolator. Or me.
Great. Now let's demagnetize those floor mats.
This is sad now.
Now get a Purolator Boss premium oil filter and 5 quarts of synthetic oils for $32.99 at Advance Auto Parts. See store for details.
Widden Glass takes care of Tallahassee business. Local contractors know Widden Glass has been taking care of business since 1945. They prefer Widden Glass because of their precise window glass replacement, masterful shower enclosures, and storefront glass. Widden Glass will take care of you to your complete satisfaction. That's been Widden's way of doing business for over 70 years. When you call Widden Glass, you're dealing with experienced, reliable professionals who offer only the best, like Widden's top-of-the-line bath enclosures that provide style and luxury at an affordable price. Eye-catching storefronts are a specialty at Wooden Glass. We'll help you design it and install it. We've done hundreds of storefronts in the Tallahassee area. That's why Wooden is known for taking care of business. Wooden Glass, the first name in glass replacement. Call 222-5781.
I give to you Easy Laundry Service from my friends at Wash Around the Clock. Oh, buddy, this is a game changer. If you're like me, your life is hectic. Between work, school, your kids' sporting events and activities, well, it leaves you precious little time to kick back and take a load off. About the last thing you want to do is hours of laundry, but there it sits, staring at you, taunting. No more. That's right. More watching, less washing. Save hours of valuable time when you sign up not doing laundry with Easy Laundry Service from Wash Around the Clock. Whether it's dry cleaning or just plain laundry, Wash Around the Clock's Easy Laundry Service will pick up and deliver at your home or office. So sign up for free today at easylaundry.net, or you can give them a call, 850-597-9007. Again, sign up today at easylaundry.net. Oh, and by the way, I got you. Use promo code JCS20 and save 20%. That's promo code JCS20. You're saving 20% on your first order. That's easylaundry.net from Wash Around the Clock. Thursdays are Friday Eve, and that's a reason to celebrate. No matter what you're looking for, they've got you covered every Thursday down in College Town. Centrale offers 50% off select pizzas all day, every Thursday. Or you can stop by Township for Taco Thursday. $2 house tacos, $2. Madison Social offers the Social Agreement. You and a buddy can split one Aurora wings, 2 Madso burgers, 2 bourbons, 2 proof Madison Socials, all for just $40. See what they did there? And don't worry about parking. Plenty of spaces available in the parking deck or surrounding lots. Check out all the Thursday College Town deals right now on ThursdaysInCollegetown.com.
Just like football, when it comes to the court of law, you're going to need a solid defense. I'm Michael D. Blank, attorney with the Law Office of Jose Fernandez in Tallahassee. At the Law Office of Jose Fernandez, there is never an upfront fee, and if we don't recover, then you don't pay anything. Our team is dedicated to handling all types of accident, injury, negligence, malpractice, and wrongful death cases. If you're unable to come to us, we can come to you day or night. Call us now, 855-HOSE-305, for your free consultation today. The Law Office of Jose Fernandez. We don't get paid until you do. Offices, Tallahassee, Miami. GRFinjury.com. Go Noles.
Son of a biscuit.
What was that?
Something